So, in the previous videos we implemented the chess, and in the last video we implemented the checkmate rule, and we figured out that the pawns are not working properly. So I'm going to implement them now. Let me reset the board and okay, so let's implement, in this case, pawns cannot remove the next piece in front of them, but they have to eat the piece in the diagonal. So let's implement that here in this is the rule for the pawn. So we are going to accept this only in the case the cell is empty. So if empty, so if this pose is empty, this pose is empty, let's add it. Let's add the position. Actually, now let's try to keep the board between refreshes for convenience. So let me add this here. Keep and reload. So now this is board. Board. Keep and reload. It didn't work. Keep and reload. Create the default. We are getting an error here. Let's see if, like this, we are keeping this simple, if this works for refreshing or not. Empty. No, this is not working. We have local variables here. Because we have chess cell. Okay. Chess cell. No, but not now. Now let's see if it can construct an empty cell or not. No, we should probably use another representation here. Let's use an int array 2. That is probably going to be simpler. And now let's support getting this value. So if value is 0, then return empty. And then empty is going to be 0. And here kind, the value is going to be the kind index plus 1, for example, because it starts on 0. And it's black, is black, white, it's black. So here we are going to multiply by the second. Let's use second. Let's use is black plus 1, and if it's not black, it's white minus 1. So we are going to use player 7. Then if value 7, value is minus 0, then it's white. Then when we are going to construct values, let's use the values. Someone is doing something like in the street. So let's use values. Let's provide the values of the pieces so we can get the value without the sign. Minus 1 is the piece index. So this is going to be the piece kind index. And then we are going to get this kind. This is the kind. And the player is going to be value is minus 0, then the player is black is positive, white, something like this. Then we have the kind and the player. So now we can represent the value of a piece with with an integer. We can represent a piece with an integer, and we can get that integer and do the opposite. From that integer get a cell. And this is going to help here in here. We can use value, and here we can use value. We will have to do the same probably for int array. And this is going to be int like this. So now this is working. We are doing the array, we use only the value, and here we need the opposite, that is just self from value. Since we are not exposing this internal array, this is probably going to work. Just self from value. So now we have a different representation that is still not working somehow. So this is not going to work. If it is in line, probably it won't work either. No, it doesn't work. So this could be a string. I don't know why this is not working properly when serializing for the refresh. But we can represent the board with a string, but I will check how to do this. I will check why is this failing, because it shouldn't in this case. So let's forget for now the keep on reload, or let's use a string. We can use, for example, an array of strings. No, it's okay. Let's ignore that. Let's put a pound in. Let's put a pound here above the king. Black pound. So we can try to move this. In every refresh. So I will check the board maybe later. But for now, let's do this. So add if empty. So in this case, we are only accepting the movement if this is empty, but we also want to accept the diagonal in the case add if has player and so player just player. So now if the player is this player, then we are going to accept that, and we are going to add this position plus the direction plus the direction plus the to the left for this player, not for this player, but for we are getting an exception here. Here we should validate that this is a valid movement, or a valid in bold. Let's check that this position is in the bold. In bold, in position. So let's check this is in bold and it's empty. And now, instead of checking this player, we want to check the opposite player. Let's create a property. So in the case we have, if this is black, then return white, and otherwise return black. This is getting the opposite player. So now this is working from the left for the left, and this is working for the right. So now we are getting the proper pawn logic, I guess. I think so. So this is it, I guess. Now we have the proper movement per pawn. Now we should probably allow one movement per player. We cannot move it because we have that would make a check. Seems to work properly. Then we are going to accept only dragging the current player movement. So I guess it's white start. I don't remember which one starts. I believe it's white. So let's check let's use a current player, chess player, white. And then we are only going to accept dragging if the piece player is the current player, let's accept dragging, otherwise no. Okay. And then when we perform a movement, otherwise white will be always the one to move. When after performing a movement and rendering, let's toggle the current player. So now we should be able to move y. So current player, we are rendering, we're representing I don't know why. So first, player is current player. So when we move to the original position, we shouldn't toggle. Let's not add the current position to valid positions. Also, let's do something else that is going to change the alpha for the images depending on if we are the current player or not. So for example, let's say something like this. So blacks are now a bit grayed out, and now whites are grayed out. So it's easier to figure out which position is going to be. Also, let's change the color of the movement in the case it's not empty. If it's not empty, let's use a red color. Otherwise, let's use the green yellow one, like this. So we are making explicit probably the opposite. Let's use red for removing the other piece. So I think it's it. I think in the case we found there is a checkmate, we could maybe mark something. Mark something like stop accepting movements, maybe putting a text in the center of the screen like white or black wins, something like that. But let's do that in another video because this is pretty long already.